Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are diving in to the Miracle Morning, Chapter 3, talks about the 95% reality check. And I'm going to tell you, it might not be a feel good, but it's going to make you think for the rest of your day. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? We're going to give you a little gut check, but it's a good gut check. It's a really good chapter. So if you're brand new, post new below. If you've been here for a while, you know that we're going through books. My hope is to always go through a book with you to help you understand the power of your mindset, to help you understand the power of just being grateful and thankful in reading, because if you get this right, guess what? Other things that you're working towards you'll make better choices. And so we are diving in. We're on chapter 3. Here's the book. Some of you are going through it with us or right along with me. There you go. And some of you are just hopping on here to listen, and hopefully you take a golden nugget away. Here is the key to anything. Whether you're learning from me or you're reading a different book or you're watching somebody else online or listening to a podcast, the key to learning and gathering information is to take action on at least one thing. One thing. So if you hear something, write it down and then put it into action, or write it down and put it someplace where you can read it and it reminds you so that you make those better choices. So the book is incredible. I'd like to go through it faster, but I also know that it's important to go through chapter by chapter and to actually take that one action step and to put it into place. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Okay, the 95% reality check. So in this chapter, it's super, super great. He talks about, he really gives you some statistics and he really lays out just the average person. I actually don't like to say that. And maybe some people don't like to hear it because it almost makes you go, am I average? Is average bad? I don't want to feel like I have to go after better. I should be thankful. I think for my mindset, for the longest time, I would hear average and I would go, well, what's wrong with being average? I can be thankful, and I'm thankful and grateful that I'm alive and I'm here and I'm breathing. And so I think you just have to think about it differently. He talks about 95% of society settles for far less than what they want in their life. And it's not being selfish. It's just almost looking at it like, am I utilizing everything that I have to my full potential? So don't think about it like, oh, I don't want to be selfish and I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think about this conversation of being average as a bad thing. I think about it as, am I utilizing everything that I have within me, my gifts and my talents? Am I going after the things that I want for my family? Not in a selfish way, but like, what can I do to be a better person and inspire others? Does that make sense? So that if that little like word average makes you go, I don't like that, think about it like that. Maybe it'll help. Okay, so he says, what can we do now to ensure that we don't end up and struggle for the rest of our life like 95% of majority of people do? Really, in the beginning, he talks about people in their jobs, in their finances, in their relationships, and how they just don't go after better. They don't work on making it better. And so this is super, the whole thing is good. I probably have a majority of this chapter underlined, so I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but he says we must embrace the fact that if we don't commit to thinking and living differently than most people do today, we are setting ourselves up to endure a life of mediocrity, struggle, failure, and regret. I think the biggest word for me is regret. I don't ever want to regret not trying something or going after something, or who wants to live a life of regret? Oh, I could have, or I should have. Why didn't I do this, right? Just like most people, realizing that this will include our own friends, families, and peers, if we don't do something about it now and set an example of what's possible when we commit to fulfilling our potential. Being average means to settle for less than we truly want and that we are capable of, and to struggle for the rest of our life. And so he talks about different things in your life. He talks about physically, like he really goes over the power of like how many people are obese and they just feel like they can't fix it, right? or mentally and emotionally. Like, how many people just settle for being on medication when they don't work on their mindset? He talks about relationships and finances and how sometimes we just get in this rut of being okay with okay. And it does take hard work and it does take discipline. But if you can, he's going to talk about this, if you can find a peer group and an accountability, and if you can just do 1% better every single day, it might just be getting up and reading one page. Maybe you're not on chapter 3 if you're going through it. It's okay. Maybe all you can do is all you can do, right? But if you're doing the best that you can and you do 1% better every single day, you will get to be using your potential and using your talents, and you're going to feel better, but you've got to put in a little bit of effort, right? So he talks about, so many things. Don't live in the rear view. Don't live in the rear view. It's a weird word. Rear view mirror. He says, if you are to move forward and beyond your past and the limitations you've set for yourself, you must stop living out your rear view mirror image of your life. My past does not equal my future. So, man, this whole book is good. Even if you're not going through it with me right now, I would encourage you to get the book and go through it for yourself and have the book with you, because I have the whole book highlighted and it's really, really an incredible book. Always remember, this is good, where you are is a result of who you were, but where you are going depends entirely on the choices that you make from this moment forward. So maybe today you're like, maybe you've already hit the snooze button. Maybe you already grabbed the donut. Maybe you just need to draw a line in the sand. He talks about this. Draw a line in the sand, and you're going to have to determine and decide, are you going to go after better? What does that look like? Are you going to stop lying to yourself? He talks about most of the time, if a friend called you and they said, hey, I'd like to have coffee with you, or I'd like to go have a girls' night, or if your kids are like, Mom, can we go on a date? And if you've got a date night planned, right? We don't often cancel with friends and family and commitments that we have set for other people, but we let ourselves off the hook. So do you cancel on yourself when you're like, I'm going to work out? And then you hit the snooze button, right? I'm going to eat better. But you grab the donut. Isn't it interesting how we can cancel dates with ourselves or expectations with ourselves or commitments to ourselves at the drop of a hat? But you would never do that to a friend or family if they were set on seeing you. If you had it in the calendar, you wouldn't cancel it unless you had to. Something came up. But how often can we hit the snooze button, cancel our gym time, make the excuse to go through the fast food line because for whatever reason, you're not committed to yourself, right? So maybe today, your action step is, I have to be committed to myself. I have to work on me. I've got to get up. I'm going to choose to get up because I get to. I'm going to choose to make better choices because I get to, because I'm committed to me. It's in the calendar. It's in the book. It's in the alarm clock is set. No more canceling on yourself, right? You are your own worst enemy and you can be your best friend, but you've got to commit to it. You've got to commit to it. So he talks about lack of purpose, how sometimes most people just don't have a purpose of why to get up. Isolated incidents. This is really good. So I'm going to read this little part to you. Talks about how discipline creates your lifestyle. All right, he says, let's see. We must realize that the real impact and consequences of each of our choices and actions, it's real. And even our thoughts are real. Every single thought, choice, and action is determining who you are becoming, which will ultimately determine the quality of our lives. He says, okay, here's what you should write down. How you do anything. I need some water. Excuse me. How's your morning going? And it's Friday. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. I feel like I just got done with a weekend. It's a new weekend. All right. I did just get done working out. And if you tune into my lives in the morning, let me just pre-frame this. I'm always going to look like this. I'll put a hat on. I did just finish my workout. Thought I'd put my hair down so maybe I didn't look like such a sweaty mess. And I got my reading done this morning. I want you to know something. The point of reading books like this is to help you create systems so that you can own your day. My goal is to help you own your day, right? And so I get up with a determination to work out, to read, to get my mindset right, to be grateful, to do all of the things in the morning that I want to do to set my day up for success, usually before my kids wake up. Although our youngest has been waking up a lot earlier, but I don't have babies in the house anymore, so it's a lot different for me. I want you to hear this phrase. How you do anything is how you do everything. If there's one thing that you focus on today, you should write that down and think about what that looks like in your life. How you do anything is how you do everything. That could be good or bad, right? Every time you choose to do the easy thing instead of the right thing, you are shaping your identity, becoming the type of person who does what easy is rather than right. It's easier to hit the snooze button. It's easier to just go through the fast food line. Easy isn't right. It does take some discipline. It does take some choices, but you're creating the discipline and the systems in your life. You're either choosing easy or you're choosing right. Which one is it? And that ultimately is going to give you the 1% better or the 1% worse through the course of your entire year. On the other hand, when you do choose to do what's right, the right things will follow through with your commitments, especially when you don't feel like it. You are developing an extraordinary discipline. Discipline creates lifestyle. Why did you wake up this morning? Why are you doing what you want to do? In the next chapter, he's going to talk about your why. He says, realize that everything that we do affects who you are becoming, which is determining the life that will ultimately create. That's your life that you're creating. Everything that you do is going to determine who you're becoming, right or wrong, right? Man, the whole book is so good. I wish I could read the whole thing to you. So then he talks about having an accountability partner. He talks about the circle of influence that you're around. You become like the 5 people that you're around. So if you're looking at your friends, not to say that you're going to defriend people, but if you don't have friends or family members or a peer group that pushes you and you're all sitting around watching movies, not going to the gym, not pushing each other, not striving for better, then you might have to find some new people that motivate you, that inspire you. And maybe it's not people physically around you, but like online here. Anybody that's on here, I'm just going to assume, wants better, wants to feel better, wants to do better in any area of their life, right? And so I hope that this is an accountability for you. I hope that you're checking in every single day. I'd love to know, why are you here? What is your morning looking like? Are you reading? I could truly ask you some hard questions, and you might not like me for a while, but if I said, did you hit the snooze button today? Are you hitting the snooze button every day? And if you are, why are you here? What do you want? Are you here just to feel good, or are you here to take action? This is the book that I'm reading. It's a super simple, small book. I would encourage all of you to get it and go through it. And ask yourself the hard questions. And then you actually have to put action behind it. Or sit back and know that you might not reach your full potential if you're not going to go after those things and have the discipline that you want, right? Am I super quiet? Maybe I'm talking too quiet. Okay. Talks about your circle of influence. Talks about finding people that inspire you. Oh, this is a good one. Misery loves company. Have you ever been around somebody who's like, just eat the donut, eat the pizza. Oh, stop it. You can skip your workout. It's not a big deal. Misery loves company. And it might be family members, because as soon as you're going after better, as soon as you are striving after something, you're going to have people that go, you better than me? Oh, sorry, you can't eat the donut? Oh, you're going to the gym. And it makes people have a gut check, because they know they probably should be working on themselves, right? They should probably be going to the gym. They should probably, like, if somebody grabs a Mountain Dew and you're like, oh no, I'm actually going to just grab some water, It almost makes them go, right? Misery loves company. And sometimes people don't want to see you succeed. It's really hard to choke that down if they're your best friend or a family member or a sister or a parent. But you have to have that discipline to go, no, I'm working on myself. And even if they're rude to you, and even if they say something mean to you, guess what? The longer you go after better, the longer you strive to be better, the longer you make those better choices, you will inspire them. You will. Even if they don't say it. You have no idea how you're going to help them, like, maybe I should do that. I want to feel better. Oh, she's playing with her kids. Oh, he looks really happy. What are they doing? I want that. Don't join the misery. Don't do it. Talks about lack of personal development. That's what you're doing right now. All of you on here are developing yourself. You're reading, you're growing, and the lack of development or personal development is going to keep you where you are today. That's why it's so important to read, listen to podcasts, find people that inspire you, strive after better, learn, grow, take action. Talks about lack of urgency. How often do we put ourselves in that someday? Someday I'm going to do it. Oh, someday I'll get up. It's not a big deal. Human nature is to live with a someday mentality. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. There is a part of urgency of taking action on what you want. Okay, remember this. Now matters more than any other time in your life because it's what you are doing today that is determining who you are going to become. And who you're becoming will always determine the quality and direction of your life. There is a part of urgency of doing it right now. Drawing a line in the sand. So that's the next part. He says, draw a line in the sand. Make a decision as to what you are going to start doing today. Maybe you're going to order the book. Maybe you're going to set an alarm clock in your phone and you're going to drink water every hour. I know that sounds silly, but it is a 1% better choice. I've got to drink more water. Today I'm going to take the action, put an alarm clock in my phone every hour to say, drink water. Hey, Stephanie, drink water. Did you drink your water? I have an alarm clock every morning, 5:30 to get up so I can work out. I have an alarm clock to do a live, to create a system, to remind myself to talk to you. I have an alarm clock to read. I have an alarm clock for anything that I want to remind myself so I can create those systems every single day. I have a lot of alarm clocks set in my phone. My phone's dinging all the time. What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Affirmations. Do you affirm yourself? Maybe you should set an alarm clock every day, every 3 hours that says, you are worthy. You can do this. Maybe 30 minutes before each meal. Maybe like in the morning at 11:30 and at 4:30 you say, what is your best option? Choose your best option, Stephanie. Don't go for easy, go for right. You are worthy. How would you feel if your phone kept telling you today, you are worthy, you can do it, drink your water, Stephanie, make the better choice? What if I had an alarm clock that said, are you hungry? Figure out like your trigger points of when you find yourself snacking. Have your phone say, hey, Stephanie, are you hungry? Because we often eat out of boredom or emotions or habit. We don't need to let food control us. You don't need to let food control you, but you're going to have to take the discipline and the action to stop it. Draw a line in the sand, get your booty off that couch, grab a book, go for a walk, make the better choice. Don't go in the employee lounge. Don't go to the vending machine. Don't go through McDonald's. Like, you have to plan and prepare, and you can do it, and it will be hard for a couple weeks, but guess what? It will be worth it. It will be worth it. All right. I really do want to read the whole thing to you, but the reality is that if you don't change now, your life won't change. If you don't get better, our life won't get better. If you don't consistently invest time into yourself and self-improvement, our life will never improve. Yet most of us wake up every day and stay the same. 95% of people stay the same because they're not willing to do the hard work. They live in that tomorrow mentality. So my question to you is, are you going to draw a line in the sand? Are you going to set the alarm clocks? Are you going to figure out what you want to go after? Are you going to maybe order the book? Maybe you're going to tune in here every single day. Maybe you've been wanting to reach out to me and say, hey, here's where I'm at. I need some help. Where do I start? Power of the ask, right? If you've got questions, message me. If you need help with food, message me. If you just need accountability and you want if you want to be around people and you don't have them in your life, hop on here every single day. Maybe friend some of these people, because clearly everybody that's on here is going after better, right? And so my action step is this. My question to you is, I read that phrase. What was it? Are you going to choose today to work on yourself, or are you going to live in that average life? That might be a stinger to you, right? It's a gut check. So, okay. That's all I got for you today. Super, super, super good. 1% better every day, 1% worse. So message me with your questions. Continue to tune in here. I'd love for you to press the share button. Sharing is caring, and I really, truly think a lot of people need accountability. Whether it's just checking in here, phoning a friend and going, hey, I need an accountability partner. Will you be my accountability partner? Let's do this together. Let's go for walks. Let's make better choices. Let's meal prep together. Whatever you need. Grab the book. It's super great. We're really going to dive into some action steps. So he's going to give you some very specific things of like what you need to work on to create systems. So I hope you guys have an incredible day. I'm always here to help. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.